What is up, guys? This is the first video on a new channel, Average Joe Raids. And this is just going to be an average guy playing Raid Shadow Legends, hoping to help out your account. I literally just finished folding clothes for my children, so, just your average guy. Going to talk about today about probably the biggest question you see on the Raid Shadow Legends Reddit, which is who should I star next? And I'm going to look at epics in every single faction, give you one non-void and one void epic who I think you should 6-star if you have them, and we'll go into a little bit why. So let's get started. We're going to start out with the Banner Lords. Here we're going to say the void obviously is going to be Ursula, and she is a very great support champion, has a full team revive on a 5-turn cooldown, and 5-turn? Let's see. Yeah, 5-turn when you book her out. Also gives you defense and strength, and so she'll use this even if you don't have dead teammates. And that's going to give you a lot of defense and survivability. Also here you decrease attack, increase attack. So you can use her on the clan boss, and she helps you really stay alive for a lot more turns. And she's great in dungeons, great in Doom Tower. I use her everywhere. For a non-void here, I would go with Stagnite. A1's got a decreased speed. A2, decreased defense, decreased attack. Spirit Affinity, not great, but if you pull him early, you will use him everywhere for a very long time. He's even usable in Hydra and late game, so both of those champions usable all the way to the late game. Going into the high elves, void picks here, pretty slim pickings. I would probably go with Battle Sage because she's usable in the late game arena, but I don't know a ton about her. I think mostly is the Revive on Death, and yeah, she just Revive on Death, increase attack. So, there's not a lot here as far as voids go. Non-voids, you got Royal Guard, great enemy max HP attack champion. Vergis, great defense-based champion. I would personally go with Vergis because of what he enables you to do in Doom Tower once you get that high. But Royal Guard, he could be a great pick for your Spider team if you're really struggling with the Spider dungeon. So, yeah, let's say from perspective of an early to mid game account, you're not yet doing quite a lot in Doom Tower. Let's go with Royal Guard just because Spider is going to help you overcome the silver stopper. And not having enough silver to really do anything or upgrade gear. So here we got the decreased defense on the A1. The big skill for him, A2, attacks all enemies, damage increases according to enemy max HP. So this is just like Cold Heart, and he's going to do max HP damage for everyone. He'll nuke the spiders and also do a ton of damage to the big spider. Attacks 4 times at random on his A3. Got a chance for decreased speed, so he's actually usable in Hydra and late game as well, so that's a good long-term choice. Going into the Sacred Order, looking at some epics here. Void, we got a lot of good voids here. Jamel is a good Hydra champion. Lightsworn's kind of a good clan boss champion. Cardinal's got a full team revive. Godseeker Aniri has got a revive passive and also a revive that resets cooldowns. So I pulled Godseeker Aniri early on my account. I feel like she did great for me, so let's choose her. Got a little heal on the A1. Got a heal here on the A2, AoE heal. Also decreases buffs on the enemies, increases your buffs. By 4-turn cooldown revive. Also a passive revive on death that she throws out right before somebody dies. Looking at the non-void champions here, we got Deacon Armstrong. He's decreased defense, decreased turn meter, gives you a leech, could be really good in clan boss teams early game, but also is in some really great one-key clan boss teams late game. I would personally go with Mordecai here because he is going to enable a spider team. And so his A3 is a place an HP burn, 100% when booked. Placing is great. He doesn't do any damage to the spiders, so that lets them live and damage the big spider. Also some turn meter control here. He, along with Achek the Windren, can 2-man spider 20 up to 25, I think. So I used that for a long time on my account. and it was really good. I think that it's going to help a lot of you guys overcome the silver problem that Raid Shadow Legends has. Going into the Barbarians, let's see here. We don't have a lot of Void choices. I'd go with Skytouch Shaman, throw in a Frenzy set, and as she loses her HP, she's going to gain a lot of turn meter, so she's just constantly pushing out the heals. Non-Voids here, Armina and Ferric, both good. Armina's kind of War Maiden on steroids. She's the epic version, so let's go with Ferric the Fat. Gonna really do a lot of wonders for your clan boss team. Increased crit rate, increased crit damage, ally attack, so he's really gonna help your other champions push up their damage. Also, HP burn, 2 poison debuffs, 100% chance on a 3-turn cooldown, and then also decreased defense on the A1. So, you know, he's got a lot to his kit for the clan boss, and he is going to enable himself and all of your other champions to do a lot more damage on the clan boss and get you into later clan boss rewards, which really should be your #1 priority in the game when you're early to mid game. Who can I max out to get better clan boss rewards? And that is going to get you more shards, get more champions. It's going to get you more gear and books. Really, clan boss is where it's at early to mid game. Whatever you can do to increase that is going to be where you should go. And speaking of clan boss, our #1 void pick for Ogryn tribes is Maneater. Maneater enables an unkillable clan boss team. There is a budget unkillable team with Maneater and Painkeeper, and that's the team that I started using early on my account. And within a couple months of playing, because I was lucky enough to pull them, I was able to down Ultra Nightmare in 3 keys, and I've now got it down to 2, and trying to work on that 1 key. So he is definitely top choice there. Top choice for non-voids, obviously going to go with Ugo. She is a legendary champion in disguise. I really want her for my Hydra team. Let's talk about her passive first. When everyone dies, she puts a block damage on herself, and then that allows her to use this A3, which if all of her allies are dead, she revives all of them with a 50% HP, 50% turn meter. A2 here is decreased defense and also a block buffs, which is huge for the Hydra, especially this rotation when you got the poison cloud throwing out and stopping other debuffs. And then a leech on the A1, which obviously can give you a little bit of healing as well. So that's Ogryn tribes. Let's head over to the Lizardmen. Oh, not a ton of voids here. You know, Broadmaw, Skathix, both of them are decent, not great. I would personally go with Broadmaw here, who is a permanent fusion that you can do, but only because he's going to be a reviver for your Faction Wars team. So I would say this is not a huge priority max. If it's a toss-up between him and another epic that you want to max, it's probably not going to be him. I only put him to 50, and he was able to carry my Faction Wars team because, let's be honest, Faction Wars for this faction is Razin, Scarhide, and a couple of his friends. So, Broadmaw here, but not really a huge choice. For 60s and the epics, I'd probably go with either Jareg or Venomage. I'm personally going to pick Venomage because, again, clan boss champion. He's going to help your clan boss team. That's what we want. Also, he is going to potentially help you in the epic Lizardmen secret room, and he can solo it, I've heard. So I have him at 40 right now. I might max him out soon. So that would be my non-void choice. Let's get into the Skinwalkers. 1 void, and consequently, he is also a very good void. Basher, big skill here, increases the cooldown of all the target's skills by 2 turns. If you get Basher going quick and with great accuracy, he can really shut down an enemy team in Doom Tower, in dungeons, in Faction Wars, everywhere. Also throws out block buffs. This is random, not on all enemies, but sometimes you can get it to hit a lot of people. And then sometimes a weaken here, but definitely a good champion, especially when you got him running fast. These non-voids, you know, Thane would probably be my choice. Again, clan boss. 2 words for you there. Got a big hitter here 3 times, decrease defense and weaken. Got a hit here with some poison and decrease attack. Also, some turn meter here. Obviously doesn't impact clan boss, but really good damage for clan boss. Really squishy, only 13,700 HP down here, which is very low for an epic, but a pretty high base attack. So that's who I would pick for Skinwalkers. Not a very strong faction. Orcs here, obviously Void Orc Seer. She does massive damage. She has a really good high base HP. The big ability here, removes all buffs from all allies and enemies, attacks all enemies. Damage increases according to the number of removed buffs. So you can throw out some buffs on yourself, and if even the enemy gets some buffs off on themselves, you throw some accuracy on Seer, she's going to take those buffs too. They're going to factor into this damage, and she is just going to nuke everyone. Seer is in every single, unless Poison Explosion, she's in every single top dungeon team, top Doom Tower team, everything. Epics here, I would personally go with Vrask. He's a great healer. I just got him recently. The passive here is all we care about. Heals all allies by 10% of this champion's max HP whenever he inflicts a crit. So you build him with 100% crit, you build him with 80,000 HP, he heals for 8,000 HP every single hit. He has a great base HP. So yeah, I would definitely go with him. He helped my Faction Wars team that I just completed today, actually. Demon Spawn, let's see. Voids here, Umbral Enchantress, you know, she's got the Provoke. She also throws an Unkillable on herself, and also, if you don't want to use the Provoke, you can just use this block buffs. On a 3-turn cooldown, for 3 turns, she is literally going to block buffs all the time on the enemies. I have her at 50. I'm thinking about maxing her out for Hydra and for Doom Tower. Non-voids, there are quite a few good non-voids here. Magnar is a great nuker. Dur is a good reviver and healer. Achak, great spider. And Allure, great for Fire Knight. Yeah, I would personally have to go with Achak because Spider is just a different type of dungeon. It takes specific champions to be able to beat it. Achak throws out, attacks all enemies, places a freeze. This is a 90% chance. Freeze on a 3-turn cooldown on enemies whose attack is higher than their defense. So if it's an attack champion, he's going to freeze them to kind of crowd control them. If they're defense based, he's going to throw an HP burn on them so that they can get some damage done to him. Also has a block debuffs and a strengthen, and his A1 does a couple things too. As far as decreased duration of a buff, or also decreasing the turn meter. So what's going to happen if you pair him with Mordecai is Mordecai throws on the HP burns. Achak throws down the freezes, so now all of the little spiders are burning and frozen. They go to take their turn, and the burn ticks the big spider. When they go to take a turn, fills the turn meters of all allies by 10% every time an enemy under a freeze debuff gets a turn. So you got 10 spiders out, they each fill the turn by 10%, and then you get an extra turn. So Achak and Mordecai are just constantly going, taking turn after turn. They keep the spiders frozen, they keep them burning, you get through spider. It's a great time. Let's get into Undead Hordes. This is a faction I'm not doing well on Faction Wars. There are literally no Void Epics, so that's great. Best one here, there's a couple. Seeker is a clan boss enabler with some specific teams, so if you have champions for an unkillable team that Seeker's in, build Seeker. If you don't, and you have Vogoth or Gorgrab, I would recommend one of those two. Gorgrab's going to be the reviver for this faction. He's also going to be a speed lead in the arena, and you can build him super tanky and build a go second team. Vogoth, the passive here, which I don't have her, but whenever she's attacked, heals all allies by 50% of the damage. So that is a huge passive. I see her used in arena. She helps with the Bommel teams in Doom Tower. She's going to keep your team alive. Same could be said about Gorgrab with his full team revive though. So one of those two I think would be the best one here. Moving into the Dark Elves. Couple good epics here. Void-wise, Sylar and Madame Ceres are both really good. I just recently kind of learned the value of Sylar for this Faction Wars and in Doom Tower. I'm going to go with Madame Ceres because I got her also pretty early. Used her in my arena team and helped me get into... I was pushing Gold 4 before they added Gold 5. I was in Gold 4. I got into Platinum one time during the early part of the week, but A3 here is the best skill. Removes all buffs from the enemies. Places a decreased attack and decreased defense. Right there, even if your team doesn't get to go first, but if they're still alive and they have buffs, the other team has buffs on them, take them off. Decrease attack, decrease defense. And then you just have your nuker go in and nuke the other team. I've also used her in dungeons as well. I mean, she's great for dungeon waves. She's great for bosses at the end of a dungeon for the decreased attack, decreased defense. She is usable everywhere in the game. If you get her early, max her for sure. Non-voids here. Let's see here. All the non-voids I would want to build are Doom Tower champions. You know, Kaden's great. Luria's great. Luria's got a freeze, an AoE freeze. She does some damage. Let's look at Kaden here. You know, damage is dime a dozen. Revives 2 random allies with 50% HP. Puts increased defense, on them on a 4-turn cooldown. So 2 allies on a 4 turns cooldown is pretty good. Decrease attack here, and then also provoke. So he'll be good in dungeons. If you don't have a decreased attack champion for your clan boss, he could be usable there. So let's look into Night Revenant. The voids here, let's see. Oh, I would probably, if you don't have a speed increase for your arena team, maybe Golden Reaper. She also puts some skills off a cooldown. I would personally go with Skull Crown here. Got a big AoE here with a weaken. She's got an AoE here, an extra chance if they're above 50% HP. You put her in a stun set, she's going to keep the enemy's crowd controlled in the dungeon. Non-voids here, there are a bunch of good non-voids here. Rector Draft, Thylesia, Miscreated Monster, Doom Priest, Sinesha. I'd personally here go with Miscreated Monster. Use him in a lot of dungeons. He can also be huge in your spider team. Right here, Lightning Storm. 50% chance to stun. Places a shield buff on allies for 3 turns equal to 25% of the damage inflicted. So that's the big... he can really give you a big shield. You build him with crit damage, and a ton of health because his abilities are HP based. He can give you a huge shield, give you ally protect, heals himself, and stun and a decreased defense if the stun lands on A1. He just has a lot going for him. That's what I would pick. Going into last 2, the Dwarfs. Dwarfs have a lot of good champions here. Voids, definitely Demitha. So Demitha will enable some unkillable clan boss. Again, coming back to the clan boss. She also helps block some damage during the faction wars as well. Non-voids, Geomancer, hands down. Again, clan boss. Clan boss, clan boss, clan boss. So he is my biggest clan boss damage dealer right now. I'm doing a 2-key and Ultra Nightmare. This is the ability right here. Puts the HP burn in the weaken on, but I guess here is where it is. Decreases damage all allies receive, and deflects that damage onto each enemy under an HP burn debuff placed by this champion. If there are multiple champions on the team with this skill, only one will activate. So it's deflecting damage off of Geomancer and allies and onto the enemy that has the HP burn that he placed. Not any HP burn, just the one he placed. So that's a huge ability for clan boss and Hydra and any boss. Last faction here, the Shadowkin. Let's look at the voids. I would go with probably Genbo here. He could be an arena nuker. He increases crit rate and crit damage for himself, so if you're just building him for arena, you can build him out with 70% crit rate. and then AoE on the A2, and also can ignore, maybe it's on his passive, will ignore unkillable buffs when attacking under an increased attack buff. So it's great to get the unkillables when you see Skull Crowns or Leoriuses or anyone with Swift Parry. He just chews right through it. Looking at the non-voids, Burengiri is going to be another champ that can solo some Doom Tower bosses. Hatatsu is great. I just leveled him up, and Taragi is great. I'm going to go with Taragi. I think he's really undervalued. He does a lot. Decrease attack. Got a AoE provoke on a 3-turn cooldown when you book it out. And also ally protect. He gives a shield to the allies. He heals himself and puts reflect damage on himself. And when attacked, he has a 50% chance of placing a 5% poison debuff on the attacker. So you put him in your clan boss team, and he is going to throw out poisons a ton when he's getting hit. He's also going to protect everyone else on your team. So that is every single faction, guys. We looked at all the epics and which one I think you should max. Hopefully this helps you when you're asking your question of who should I 6-star next. Go ahead and give the channel a follow if you want to see some more videos. It's a new channel. I'm going to try to pump out some good videos that all you average Joes could help and benefit from on your Raid Shadow Legends accounts. See you later, guys. Until next time.